Hey, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Chaim Samuels here, and Hannah Gadsby's got a new special, and it's weird. I mean, it's bad, but it's weird. It's weird. Hannah Gadsby is a stand-up comedian you might know from her acclaimed Netflix special, Nanette, with such incredible bits like,
"Oh, you gonna laugh, you gonna lighten up. Oh, stop taking everything so seriously. Fucking learn to take a joke. You need to lighten up."
Classic. And now Nanette stands at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with a contrast of an audience score of 23%. To give you guys an idea of how ridiculous this is, I went on the highest rated movies from Rotten Tomato, and the audience and critic score, the contrast is mostly like 20% difference. And there are only a handful of movies with 100% rating. Citizen Kane has 100%. Let that sink in. Citizen Kane and Nanette both share 100% Rotten Tomato score. The only other Rotten Tomato score that I could find with such a large contrast was, weirdly enough, Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones. In what world is Hannah Gadsby funnier than Dave Chappelle? No world. That's what, no world. Now, I wouldn't be just doing a video of Hannah Gadsby if I thought she was just unfunny, preachy, annoying, which I do think all those things, but what really bugs me about her, and one of my big pet peeves I've expressed on this channel before, is that I really dislike people who pretend as if they have these certain standards that they preach to everybody, but then don't live up to those certain standards. And Hannah Gadsby, I would say, is one of those people. In her last special, she talked about how she's quitting comedy, and that the idea of comedy or self-deprecation she thinks is humiliating for someone like her. And although I disagreed with that idea, I can at least respect the person for having certain standards.
I do think I have to quit comedy, though. And I've built a career out of self-deprecating humour. That's what I've built my career on. And I don't want to do that anymore. Because do you understand? Do you understand what self-deprecation means when it comes from somebody who already exists in the margins? It's not humility. It's humiliation.
I think she's totally missing the idea and concept of what comedy is, but at least I can applaud her for her standards. But then she went and did this.
With Nanette, you said that it was going to be your last stand-up show. Are you sticking to that?
No, I lied. I think I lied.
And obviously, she did it because of the success of Nanette, and she thought she could capitalize on it. Which reminds me of another stand-up comedian when offered a ton of money to move off of his standards. He said no. Who is that? Dave Chappelle. Yeah, sure. This is just an endorsement for Dave Chappelle. Go and watch his comedy. So I went and watched Hannah Gadsby's new Netflix special, and it's bizarre. I mean, something that Hannah Gadsby's so good at is not just making bad content, but making bizarrely bad content. And I wanted to go through this entire special and kind of give you guys an overview of what I thought about it. So, let's go and check this out. So the Netflix special is called Douglas. Really hitting it out of the park with that name. Fucking Douglas, really? Okay, look. Maybe I'm judging it too fast. Maybe there's a really incredible reason for why it was called Douglas. Maybe it was named after somebody that was a big part of her life.
It was just my dog's name. I've named the show after my dog.
You know, that was my fault for thinking that there was really any creativity put into this. Now, the Netflix special starts off, to say the least, just weird.
Look at this! Look at this! That is a dog made entirely out of crayons. I don't need that. I'm part of the problem now. That's my gold toilet.
A dog made out of crayons. I went through this entire special. There's no mention or reference to that dog thing. So this was just a requirement of hers. You know, like celebrities, they ask for, like, I want sparkled water put in my room, or green M&Ms. This was her requirement. What I would have done to be in that interaction. Okay, Hannah, so happy to have you here. Anything you want before you go up on stage? You know what? I don't need much. I only ask for one thing. Yeah, sure, anything. I'm sure you've had people ask this of you before. It's not a big deal. It's just before every show, I need somebody to bring me a dog made out of crayons. A dog made out of crayons. Yeah, that's what I thought you said. That's gonna be a little hard to get. Sure you don't want some, like, jelly beans or... I'm sorry, what's my name? You're Hannah Gadsby. That's right. And when Hannah Gadsby asks for a dog made out of crayons, she gets a dog made out of crayons. That's right. Now get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to kick things off with a bit of observational comedy, right? A bit of, you know, have you ever noticed what's up with that? That's shit. That's what I'm starting with. And look, it's not very good. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you because I'm not very observant, typically speaking.
Well, okay, then here's a question. Why? Why are you doing this? If it's not funny, what's the point? And to that, I actually have a thesis. I actually think that Hannah Gadsby hates comedy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, buddy, that sounds like a pretty outlandish claim. She's doing a comedy special. How can you back that up? All right, first of all, don't call me buddy. And second of all, although that sounds pretty ridiculous, take a look at this back and forth.
I should just also warn you, during the bit where I make fun of Americans,
she doesn't even say anything clever or interesting. She just stares like, oh, somebody laughed at a comedy show? I wasn't expecting this. But then later on, she referenced the guy again and says this.
because what this show is, if anything, is a romantic comedy. So it's just to that end important that we get off to a shaky start. So that's all. So just don't invest. Feel, but don't invest. Just go with me. Trust me. Don't trust me. Don't trust that person.
What the fuck did this guy do? All he did was laugh. I should say he even laughed when nobody else was laughing. He laughed double as hard. What did this guy do that you told an entire auditorium not to trust him? And I could only surmise from this interaction that she really doesn't like laughter in general, but she can't scream at everybody who's there who's laughing all at once. But the fact that she was able to point out one individual for laughing really put her over the edge. Then afterwards, she goes into detail of what she's going to talk about. I don't mean that she brings up a couple of things she wants to talk about in the show. I mean she lays out in detail what she's going to talk about.
Before the show even begins, right, I'm going to give you a very detailed blow-by-blow description of exactly how the show is going to unfold. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to tell you a story about a curious incident that took place in the dog park in the daytime. Oh.
Yeah, because one thing that holds comedy back is surprises.
At the end of that story, I'm going to do a little bit of what I call hate baiting. It's where I bait my haters. It's a very complex idea. Now, the way that I'll do that is I will just say a thing. And I will make no fucking effort to make it funny. I'll just say it and leave it there.
But can you, though? You're just going to say things that aren't funny to get the haters? That just seems strange. I mean, if you want to prove the haters wrong, don't you want to make them laugh?
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move into the joke section, which is jokes, right? That's why I call it the joke section. It's just joke after joke. It's classic.
Wait a sec. There's a joke section within the comedy special? Only Hannah Gadsby can make a joke section within a comedy show. That's like going to the movies and only halfway through they're like, all right, now we're going to start the movie portion of the movie.
Just remember the golden rule of comedy, which is if you're in a minority, you do not matter. You don't. And don't blame me. I didn't write the rules of comedy. Men did. Blame them. I do. It's cathartic.
Like, what the fuck does that mean? This is where I start to have a problem with Hannah Gadsby. It's not that she has specific opinions on things. It's her entire ideology engulfs her. She's just blaming men on things that have nothing to do with men. Do you think there was a big meeting and they wrote down the rules of comedy, like the Declaration of Independence? Today we write the rules of the jokes that shall be kept. These rules were given to us by our creator. Like, well, I don't know what the fuck that means. I gotta imagine she just walks around all day blaming men for things, for regular things in her day-to-day life. Oh man, I can't pay the rent. Men. Ah, this deodorant went bad. Men. It's that time of the month again. Men!
And then with said jousting stick, I'm going to set about tearing my haters a new asshole. Yep, quick as you like. Brand spanking new. And the way that I'll do that is by doing exactly what my haters accuse me of doing, which is lecturing you. So in the middle of the show, I'm giving you a big old lecture. The twist, it's funny. It's fucking funny, right? Which is exactly what my haters accuse me of not being. So that's going to send them on a bit of a loop, may kill them, fingers crossed.
The ego on this woman, the way that you're going to show your haters is you're going to do the thing that they claim you do, which is a lecture, but it's going to be funny, so funny, because they're not going to have any idea of what to do, because they're not going to expect this. Like, they're going to turn into just Tourette robots. Like, I don't understand. I can't compute. This is a big issue I had with Lilly Singh's comedy. What I like to call brag comedy, where it's you brag about yourself in the joke. It's not like what a comedian like Ricky Gervais does, where he specifically brags about his money because he's trying to let you in on this fake persona that he's kind of this pompous asshole. It's made for you to hate him, so the joke works. But in this, she's actually trying to brag or say that she's super funny. That's just an unlikable quality. That's not a quality people want to invest in. You want to make fun of yourself, self-deprecation. That's, in comedy, that just seems to work much better. It's much more relatable, and you come off a lot more likable.
And you also need to expect one Louis C.K. joke. The one joke, it's very good. I only need one. It was a good joke. It was a day off. Pens down, have a biscuit the day I wrote that joke. Fucking good joke.
Hannah Gadsby's genius. She's figured out that the expectation is always better than the payoff. Where most comedians will just say a joke, she'll tell you how funny the joke's going to be.
I'm so solid on Louis C.K. joke. It's a mic drop moment.
She talks about how amazing this Louis joke is, okay? And not only is this Louis joke so good, but it's to a point where it's going to be a mic drop. So whatever expectations you had, she wants you to raise them. She doesn't want you to lower them. She wants you to raise your expectations so high that the joke is not only going to be amazing, it's going to be a mic drop. Okay? I want you to have that in mind because it's going to come back into the show. So just keep that in your pocket until later in the show.
That's it. That's the show. That's everything you can expect. Expectations have been set, so the show starts now.
Thank God, for fuck's sake. Okay, and by the way, she actually starts the show off kind of funny. I'll give it to her.
Have you ever noticed how Americans...
But then it very quickly goes downhill, to a point where her jokes are so bad that she has to keep telling the audience.
Here's the thing, I've never met a joke that I haven't wanted to call back. I've never met a joke. G'day. I've never met a joke. That's a pun. Catch up. Don't invest. It's all right. Hold true. You're right. You're right, America. Hang in there. Invest a little. Now, and when I say, because I'm mature, and when...
It just keeps getting worse.
Americans are like the straight white man of cultures. And I put no thought into Gryffindor whatsoever, because fuck them. They are like the straight white man of Hogwarts. Fuck you, Waldo! You want to see a children's book illustration of white male privilege, it is that guy.
Oh yeah, then she steals a joke.
He should have to find himself, like the rest of us have to.
You know, the Where's Waldo joke? I'm pretty sure I've seen this a bunch of times. It's kind of a meme. Where's Waldo? Waldo should really just find himself, so... You could add Joke Thief to the list of things I really dislike about this woman.
Look, I know better than anyone that what I did with the net was not technically comedy. But I'm also not a fucking idiot. I wanted that show to have an audience, and a broad audience. And if that meant I had to trick people by calling it comedy, that's technically a joke.
Okay, why are you doing comedy? I mean, it feels so disingenuous. I mean, you're not even trying to hide it. You're telling people you tried to trick them. Why are you doing this? It just seems like you don't like comedy, which is fine. Don't be a comedian. But what's the point? It just feels so disingenuous. It only makes me look at you as somebody who throws away their standards for levels of success.
I got accused of doing all sorts of nefarious things in lieu of comedy. It wasn't a fucking lecture. You want a lecture?
Oh, please no.
I'll give you a fucking lecture.
Please don't do it. You know what? Fine, I was wrong. You don't give lectures. Please, go back to the comedy.
Now, there is some debate as to when the High Renaissance actually began.
Ah! Alright, you got us, haters. Yeah, you proved us haters wrong. How we accused you of giving lectures, and you proved us wrong by giving us a lecture. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna do my best to put you out of this misery. She goes on this whole lecture pretty much shitting on all the great minds of history because they're men. I don't know.
This is Raphael's School of Athens. This is where Raphael has so kindly painted all the men who named all of the things.
She even ends up body shaming this woman.
Is a painting, which makes this a decision.
Weird turn of events. And I know she's trying to shame a man, totally backfires. She totally shames this woman's body. Oh, okay, so remember that Louis joke I told you to put away? Take it out when you need it? Alright, take that out. Ready? Whatever expectations you've risen to, just full throttle them. Just put them up to the highest. Remember, this is a mic drop. She wants you to raise your expectations. This is going to be one of the greatest jokes of all time. Are you ready?
Why this decision? That is a decision! That baby could be on the box. He could be beside the box. He could be a fucking penguin. Why? That is a decision. It's also the first known portrait of Louis C.K.
Wow. What a letdown. I mean, she builds this joke up. She even lets you know that there's going to be a Louis joke. And that it's going to be so good, it's going to be a mic drop. And your joke is just pointing to a fat baby who's, and like, get it? Louis, fat baby, Louis. Like a joke that wouldn't even work in a crappy open mic. I mean, for the love of God. Again, I wouldn't be doing this video if I thought Hannah Gadsby was just an unfunny comedian. There are plenty of unfunny comedians out there that I don't really care to watch. But Hannah Gadsby is just terrible in so many ways because she claims to live by and preach this certain standard, but yet totally contradicts it. She claims she's going to hold herself to this higher standard of not making fun of herself because it's humiliating, but then she goes off and does a totally another special. She goes throughout the entire special just shitting all over men and talking about how men treat women bad and just put them in this one group, but then she consistently puts men in this one group. And for the most part, it doesn't even seem like she enjoys doing stand-up comedy or even appreciates what comedy is. I think comedy brings people together, and I don't think she appreciates or really understands that concept. It sucks to see something like comedy, which I love so much, kind of be soiled by somebody like Hannah Gadsby, who I think is just doing it for the paycheck. So that's my thoughts, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourself, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your day, you guys. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. Really trying to build up, and any subscription really does help. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys, because you deserve it.